See if we can get this popping. This is the story of the Strippling Warriors. So, they are from the land of Nephi. Ammon, they're sons of Ammon. And Ammon brought them down to Helaman to help with the battle with the Lamanites and the Nephites. At this point, the Lamanites have taken Cumeni, 4 cities. Cumeni, Zeezrom, Manti, and Antipara. It's in chapter 56 of Alma. Helaman is writing a letter to Moroni, and he's recounting the last few years and how the battles have gone for Helaman, or basically for the Nephites and the Lamanites. Helaman is marching 2,000 of these sons of Ammon, which we will know as they're the warriors of Ammon, and they're also the Strippling Warriors. He's marching these men to Judea, which is where Antipas is. And he has been Antipas is in Judea, and he's been trying to fortify Judea and fend off attacks while fending off attacks from the Lamanites. They've destroyed a whole lot of his troops, so at this point Antipas is despair, downtrodden, broken in spirit. I mean, he's just having a really hard time, and he's trying to fortify the city and hold one of these last cities that they have in this area. Helaman gets there. Antipas is so excited about that because he's like, oh my gosh, now we have some help. Now it's like, you know, whenever you have a best friend come in after a really hard time. So once Helaman gets the troops to Antipas in Judea, Ammoron sees them, and he tells the Lamanites not to go and attack that city, and rather just to maintain the cities that they've already taken. So that gives Helaman and Antipas some more time to fortify the city. And they end up getting the city fortified, Judea, and they also receive more troops from Zarahemla. Ammoron sees this, and he says, okay, we need to take that city, because they're starting to get stronger, and I'm getting nervous about it, and I don't like that, so we need to take that city, and we need to figure out when the best time to go and attack them is. And right now, at this point, Helaman and Antipas wanted the Lamanites to come and attack the city. They wanted the Lamanites to come to Judea, because now they've got it all fortified. Now they've got a whole bunch of troops. They've got like 10,000 plus troops, something like that. So they want the Lamanites to come and attack. And they want the Lamanites to come to Judea. As they're coming, they were going to come at them from both ends on the Lamanites. But that never happens, and they're like, oh darn. But then Antipas has an idea. He's like, okay, Helaman, you go up toward Antipara. Don't act like you're going around Antipara to another city up northward, and acting like we're taking supplies up there, and you're gonna support that city. And Antipara is where the majority of the Lamanite troops are at. So Antipas's idea is Helaman goes up there around Antipara, and the Lamanites are going to follow Helaman as they're going, and Antipas is going to come up in the rearward of the Lamanites. So it's going to go Helaman, the Lamanites, and then Antipas right here with his troops. And so that's what they set out to do. Helaman goes, so this is what they're going to do. So, and now they're doing it. So Helaman goes with his troops. They're going up there, and just like Antipas thought was going to happen, the Lamanites come out, and they start pursuing them. And then Antipas is coming up behind the Lamanites. The Lamanites see Antipas doing that, but they know that their best shot is to go and take out Helaman first, and not to go back to Antipas, because then they're going to get hit from both ends. So the Lamanites just keep pursuing after Helaman, and they're going. The night falls, and everybody camps for the night. And then early in the morning, the Lamanites are early up, and they're headed back after him. Helaman gets up and starts going back, or starts trekking away again. And Antipas is also still in the thing. So there's 3 camps. It's still Helaman, and then the Lamanites, and then Antipas. And then the night comes again, and then they all camp once again. And then early in the morning, the Lamanites start pursuing him, and Helaman also. And they start going, and then the Lamanites stop pursuing him. And Helaman's like wondering what's going on here. I don't know what they've done. And he's talking with the guys, talking with the 2,000, the Strippling Warriors, talking with these gentlemen. And he's saying, what do you guys think? What's going on? Maybe they've stopped. Maybe, I think one of the warriors say, maybe Antipas has caught up with them and they're fighting, so they're going to need our help or something. But that's what they end up at. They're like, okay. So then Helaman comes back toward the Lamanites, and they find the Lamanites have been fighting with Antipas, and Antipas has been killed at this point, along with a couple of his, many of his captains over his troops. And Helaman starts pursuing after. So at this point, Antipas's remaining troops are running, and so it's like all three camps have started going in the other direction. Antipas's remaining troops are going, the Lamanites are following, and Helaman is pursuing after the Lamanites. Helaman catches up with the Lamanites, and the Strippling Warriors, this is their defining moment whenever we going into this battle, just before the battle, and then in the battle. This is their defining moment. This is what we like to look at as how men are raised up in the fear of the Lord, how men are raised up, gentlemen, young men. These boys weren't very old. They were maybe 20 years old. Because that's the way it was in the Israelite days. For you to be in battle, for you to go into the army, you had to be at least 18, 20 years old. A lot like how it is now. Their defining moment for their mothers raised them up to trust in the Lord, to trust in Him alone. These men didn't want to fight. They were defending. They didn't want to seek out war and like go and fight with people. These men also, to speak of their fathers, made a covenant that they weren't going to shed any more blood. And their fathers buried their weapons years ago, prior to this, buried their weapons, and their fathers, the majority of them, their fathers were wiped out by the Lamanites because they didn't want to fight. They didn't want to continue bloodshed and war and all this stuff. So because their fathers were gone, their mothers raised them in the fear of the Lord, in the ways of the Lord. And these men, because of their mothers raising them, had great faith that whole region hadn't seen. Faith like that, like David had when he was going to Goliath. So these men had never seen battle, but yet they still went into battle and fought against the Lamanites. They caught up. So back to the battle. Helaman and his army get with the Strippling Warriors, and they catch the Lamanites, and they just wipe them out. So part of Antipas's troops are still saved, but Antipas and a bunch of his captains are they've lost their life. There are many Lamanite captives at this point, and then they all start marching back toward Judea, and that is the end of chapter 56. And when we talk about the big battle of the Strippling Warriors, this is the defining moment, and this is the story of the Strippling Warriors. I love you guys. I hope you have a very wonderful day. And what's today? The 8th? Today's 8th, Monday. Already in February. I hope you're having a really good year. And